So much of today's meeting is centered on celebration of individual team and organizational accomplishments. This year's presenter was selected based on her power and passion to motivate others to live their best life. You may have heard her on WZAK 93.1 as she is their resident relationship expert, and she has been the host of her own TV talk show on TV8, The ILINDA Show. She has been a motivational speaker for 20 years, and we know you'll appreciate her tenacity as she shares personal experiences with all of us today regarding relationships and how to obtain work-life balance. As I welcome ILINDA to the stage today, I want to thank her for supplying all of us with the book, I Changed My Mind, It's My Prerogative, The Process of Becoming. Love that title. You have each been given a copy of the packets at your place setting so we can continue the mind shift to make changes for the better that she's going to teach us about. So please sit back, relax, and enjoy our keynote speaker, ILINDA REESE, as she speaks on work-life balance.
There you go, there you go. Come on, put your hands together. Turn the music up a little bit. Come on. I see you in the back table back there. Come on, get up. You give yourself to so many people. You give yourself to family. You give yourself. You give yourself. You give yourself. Until sometimes the well is just dry. And sometimes you can be burnt out, even if the cause is very powerful and still very close to your soul and your passion, you can still feel burnt out. So my objective is to help you to just learn to pay attention, intentionality, and pay attention to what is going to build up your spirit and to help you to continue to serve the people that you serve. You were created, you were fearfully and wonderfully made. You were only born with two fears. Only two. Now imagine all the ones that we have now, but you were only born with two. One is the fear of falling, okay? If you throw a baby up in the air, the baby will do what? Yes, and some of them cry. You know, some might cry or something like that. I didn't do that, I'm sure, because I jump out of airplanes and do things like that. And so I probably just said, wee! And so, but a baby has a fear of falling, and the other one is a fear of loud noises. If you clap your hands or make a loud noise, a baby will jump. Now, all the other fears came from where? Somebody else. Somebody else from your environment. But you see, if you were allowed to go as far as you could with the potential and everything that you were destined and created to be, you would be a powerful individual. However, there's the others. The others that felt responsible for who you would become. The others. So now flip it over. No, don't flip it over. I'm sorry. The others. I want you to draw lines. Draw lines from that others. Just straight out from that just several lines. Lines. Because you're going to put on those lines those people that have influenced who you have become. Oh yeah, somebody got that. Okay. Yeah, just draw some lines. Now, just call out for me who some of those others that influence who you became or have become, who are they? Parents. Husbands. Teachers, very good. Your children. Who else? Jesus, okay. Grandparents, yes. Children we got.
Grandchildren.
Grandchildren.
Priest, deacon.
Deacon? You said deacon?
Yeah, and priest.
Okay, and priests. Okay, religious individuals, etc. And you're absolutely right. If you just keep writing the number of people, because you see, even siblings, put siblings there. Because I was the oldest of my family, and so I was daddy's girl. I was daddy's girl for 4 years before she came along. And I knew that God's design was that I was supposed to be an only child. I knew that. So when she came along and when she was old enough to understand me, I did some things to her. But I was creative. She has a mole on the bottom of her foot to this day. And I told her that my parents didn't love her enough, and she had stepped on a nail and they didn't take her to the hospital. She had 2 moles on it, pretty close to each other on the side of her neck. You know what I told her about that. Yeah, vampire bit her. Now imagine, you're 4 and she's 2 and she's believing, and she's 3 and she's believing, and she was still believing for a very long time. But you see, our siblings inform who we become. Our peers. Our peers form who we become. As someone said, teachers. Teachers tell individuals that you'll never be smart enough to go to college. And if you believe that, then it inhibits who you become. So continue to put those lines there and let us know who has influenced you. Now, this is what I want you to do, because you're going to do it in your group. I want you to look at that circle and see how that circle has taken over the you. And that's the other side of that paper. You'll see how it's taken over the you. But I want you to talk very briefly at your table with the other individuals at your table as to who was the strongest influence that caused you to become who you are, and then what have you done to keep them from taking over the you. Got it? That's excellent, excellent. Lots of excitement in the room, conversation. Wonderful. Okay, let's see what you came up with. The individuals that we spoke about, and probably you've come up with a few more, how have they taken away from who you were supposed to be? Just raise your hand and just stand up and we'll see what you have to say. What conclusion did you come to? Over on this side, what did you come up with?
Whoever had the most influence in my life, are not people that have diminished who I am, but people who have opened up who I am.
Okay.
And they cause me to be more good. Cause me to be more wanting to do, as opposed to be less and less of who I'm supposed to be.
And we have to learn that doing things for other people, we have to rate what is done for us and how we get positive influence out there at the same time. So it's like a win-win situation.
Absolutely.
I enjoy my job. I come here to work.
Absolutely. Give her a round of applause. Okay, the last one right there.
I know some people come from different backgrounds, like you've been abused, whether you've been a widow, those are two instances in my background that I was able to use the background of abuse to help another friend of mine get out of a 10-year abusive relationship. And the fact that I'm a widow, I was able to then get it from a friend of mine when she became a widow. And again, later on to my own mother when my father was. So allow your things that happen to you in your life, don't allow them to push you down, but allow them to be stepping stones to take you forward.
Excellent, excellent. Give her a hand. Woo! Yes. Well, you see, the reason I had you do that exercise is because just as I brought Elmo here to help me out, I also brought another friend of mine, and his name is Geppetto. See Geppetto? Geppetto's got his strings all twisted here. But Geppetto, I found him in Glasgow, Scotland. And his name, I don't even know if his name is Geppetto, but I named him. And anything that you name, you have authority over. So, but you see, sometimes we feel just like Geppetto, where our strings are just being pulled by anybody and everybody. And everybody wants a piece, everybody wants your attention, everybody wants you to move in the direction that they want you to move. And so therefore you end up giving away your power. to those that hold the strings. You see, he has no power of his own. It's just up to me to know how to manipulate him to get him to do what I want him to do. So you need to look at who are you giving away your power to. Because you see, when the others are moving in towards the you that you are, they're telling you things like, well, you know, I don't think that's a good career for you. No, I don't think you look good in that. And as you receive that information, you either have to accept it or you have to reject it. If in fact you accept it, then others are moving into who you are. Now, as the young man back there said, there's individuals that have influenced his life to open up and to be positive. However, if in fact you come and encounter someone that does not believe that you should be doing what you're doing or saying what you're saying, etc., and you accept that information based on what they said, but not because you feel it in your spirit, then what happens to the you? Yes, you're living their life diminished. I had a man that would go to work every Monday. He was an attorney, and he would get sick every Monday going to work. And the reason he would get sick, after I did the coaching, etc., we found out he never wanted to be an attorney. You say, well, how is that possible? Well, his father was an attorney. His grandfather was an attorney. And of course, that was the expectation that he would be an attorney. So the man had diminished based on what others had said to him, etc. So you need to just take time to evaluate your life and say, what is in my life based on the fact that I want to do this? You see, when you get, as I say, burnout and you're dedicated to a cause, you need to start saying, oh, you don't say, well, I need to change jobs. No, just pay attention to whether the passion and the purpose is still the same as the reason you joined. If it's the same, then that means you need to look and see what systems or what people you need to change. You with me on that one? Oh, yeah. That is the reason for the book. I changed my mind. And the way I spell prerogative, it is correct. Because it's your right or your responsibility to change your mind. Not someone else's, but change your mind. It's the art of becoming. And as Diane said, change is the only constant. And we should be forever evolving and changing and growing. Because if you stop growing, you stop doing. And if you stop doing, you become stagnant and you just die. Am I right? All right. So I want to encourage you to return to the core of you. Sit in your quiet time and find out, what is my passion? What is it I really want to be doing with my life? Am I doing that? And if I'm not doing that, then I need to get back to that. And all of that is contained in your book. Now, listen. I just said, look them in the eye. Okay. I want you to say to them, I cannot do everything. No, be real serious with them. I cannot do everything. But I can do something. And what I can do, I will do. Now I want you to shake their hand and say, Happy New Year. Now come on, get excited, get excited. Happy New Year. You can be seated. Now, the reason I had you say, listen up, the reason I had you say Happy New Year, I know you don't expect to say that until December 31st. But the reason I had you say Happy New Year is because your real soul is not chained to 5 years or 50 years or 5 minutes. You can change your life and change your mind in a moment's time. So, yeah, that's good. I like that. Yeah, that's good. So every day, I want you to remember, if you're having a bad day, all you have to do is say in your mind, this stops here. I'm going to have a good day, and I'm going to be happy. Happy, happy, happy. Thank you. Thank you.